All right. What is it? What it is? Welcome to Real Steve TV and YouTube. I'll be your host. We're going to start a new series on my channel already. We're moving that fast. I've uploaded a handful of videos. Remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Help me out. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. But we're starting a new series on the channel called Fireside Chats. As you can see, we have the fire. Oh. And Frost Bernice is sitting on her little stump. We're starting a new series called Fireside Chats with Steve and Frost. I'm already noticing as a YouTuber, and I use the term loosely because I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not paid or anything like that yet. Look out, world, I'm coming at you. And I want to talk about something that's actually serious to me. And one thing I've noticed is that even in the few amount of videos I've put out of me playing World of Warcraft Classic Wrath of the Lich King, so many words, complicated video game. In that short time, it's weird filming yourself knowing that you're putting it on the internet for, at this point, friends and family to see, really, mostly, and maybe a handful of strangers that randomly come across your video or whatever. But it's really weird how, when a camera's on you, you put on a mask, and while I'm playing and stuff, it's partly my personality, but I would say 90% of it is like a filter or a mask, and I'm trying to be funny, and I'm trying to, I'm trying to be funny and engage the viewer and all that stuff that YouTubers do, and it feels weird and unnatural, of course, because I've never really done it. And I like to think I'm funny, but sometimes I'm not, But the reason I want to do this fireside chat with Steve and Frost, is I want to talk about the reason why I even started uploading the few videos I did in the first place, because this is really important to me. But recently, a close friend of mine and somebody I love very much passed away. And it was actually only 3 days ago, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, he passed away on Friday, and it's 4 days ago. It's already Tuesday. He passed away on Friday unexpectedly. He got hit by a car. He was 37 years old, and I loved him very much. And I'm sorrowful and heartbroken, of course, as anyone would be if a friend or family member passes away, especially at such a young age, but he had a heart of gold, and he was tall, and he was handsome, and he was strong, and he was funny. And he came back into my life only about a year ago, not even a year ago. He came back into my life about 10 months ago-ish. And the reason we reconnected actually is because he had given his life to the Lord. He had become a Christian, and he believed in Jesus. And I had known him from about 15 years ago through partying and through my brother. So my brother's actually about 5 years younger than me, and my friend was my brother's age. And I partied a lot in my life, and I've struggled with addiction, and I've struggled with my faith in God for the majority of my life. And I'll continue probably to struggle with certain things. But I am very happy to say that I am clean and sober as the making of this video, 2.5 years. But I reconnected with my friend about 10 months ago, randomly through Instagram, and found out that he was a Christian. I actually Hadn't spoken to him in a while, and we were talking on Instagram. And I felt like the Holy Spirit was leading me to tell him like about the Lord. Now you have to understand, the old friend I knew was a friend that I had known, and I would say me and him were more of acquaintances 15 years ago, though I really liked him back then, and I know he liked me back then, but we weren't like best friends 15 years ago. And I felt that the Holy Spirit was leading me to tell him about Jesus or bring up that I'm a Christian when we randomly reconnected on Instagram. And I was actually afraid to do that because, if you know my friend, he was into like heavy metal, and remember, I'm thinking of him as the guy I had met 15 years ago. And I actually would joke with him and call him my heavy metal cowboy, because that's what he was, dude. You know what I'm talking about. Those of you who know, he was a heavy metal cowboy, dude. And 15 years ago, and I mean even up till his passing, he liked heavy metal. He liked dark shit. I'm just gonna say it. He liked dark shit. He liked to wear black t-shirts from Hot Topic. Sorry, buddy, but you did. He would hate that I said that, by the way. He'd be like, I didn't shop at Hot Topic. Well, your shirts did, bud. But yeah, I mean, he was that style. He was a heavy metal cowboy, man. That's the best way I can explain it. And he was drawn to the dark. And that's just being honest. And I've been drawn to the dark in my life too. And it was in a different way. I don't like heavy metal. I don't wear black t-shirts with heavy metal bands or anything like that. And that really has nothing to do with it. That was just like his style. But before he passed away, he did tell me like, hey Steve, like I am drawn to like dark things. And if you were to go to his Instagram and look at it now, he would post like those pictures that have filters where like he looks like his eyes are glowing, and like just that dark vibe. You guys know what I'm talking about, that style. And I'm not here, this is no judgment. I'm not judging him, or this is nothing about that. But when we reconnected, I'm thinking of him as that guy. And so I'm afraid to bring up Jesus when we were DMing on Instagram. And to my shock, when I tell him, hey man, like I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus, he's like, Steve, I've recently became a Christian too. I think he said it was like about a year ago, 9 months ago, I like gave my life to the Lord, and like I'm going to church and this and that. And I was shocked. I was totally shocked, because the guy I had known from 15 years ago just didn't strike me as a guy who would like ever believe. But that's actually stupid to say as I say that out loud, because as a Christian, and if you read the Bible, none of us are worthy. None of us are worthy of Christ and what he did for us on a cross. The gospel in a nutshell is that mankind are sinners, and God came into the world to save us from our sin. That's it. That's the gospel. And the gospel, I believe, translates into, it means the good news. And that's it. Now, if you became a Christian and started following God, there's a lot in the Bible. There's a lot to learn about God and the aspect and the nature of God and Jesus. And that's a lifelong pursuit, and it never ends until you die. But in a nutshell, mankind, we're all sinners, and God came into the world through Jesus, his son, to save us. That's the gospel of Christ. And on Friday, I get this call from my brother, and he tells me, did you hear the news, And I'm like, no, I didn't. And he's like, I guess I don't know how this internet stuff works yet, really, so I'm not going to use his name yet. I don't think it's a big deal if I used his first name or anything, but it doesn't really matter. But he told me so-and-so died. And it's like that cliche scene in a movie where You know, and we all dread it. That the day you get that call that so and so died, your mom died, your best friend died, your brother died, your sister died, whatever. We all dread that call, you know? And my brother said so and so died, and my soul proceeded to fall through the earth into the center of the earth. That's all I can describe. You know, in the right away. No, like no. And then I instantly got like mildly nauseous, like literally, like not crazy nausea, like I'm gonna throw up, but like a very mild nausea in my stomach, man. And like I said earlier, he was 37 years old. He was tall. He was handsome. He was strong. He was funny. He had a heart of gold. He was a loyal guy. And I loved him so much. And that's why I'm making this little silly video, you know, to upload to my little YouTube channel with only 100 subscribers or whatever and a handful of views here and there. But it's because I loved him. And that's the reason I uploaded my first handful of videos in the first place. He taught me about being a warrior. That's what I can say is almost said his name. No big deal, I don't think, but he taught me about being a warrior. That's what I can say about that. And anyone who knew him and loved him, and there was a lot. And he wasn't perfect, and he had a lot of flaws, and he was struggling with a lot of things. But newsflash, last time I checked, so am I, so are you, so was every person in this world. Every broken person in this world is struggling with those things, man. So this is no judgment. This is just being honest and candid. But he taught me about being a warrior. He was physically stronger than me. He was taller than me. Not by much. He had a way different attitude than me when it came to fighting. He taught me how to be a warrior, and he taught me how to fight. And I'll be forever in debt to that lesson in my life. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I loved him very much. And I'm going to be sad until the day that I pass away and the Lord takes me home. But this is the weirdest part of this whole story. Something on that day like crystallized for me. I've been struggling for the majority of my life with marijuana addiction, addiction to booze, and having premarital sex and going from relationship to relationship to relationship. So I have my struggles, and like I said, I'm proud to say I'm 2.5 years sober, and I'm doing good in those departments that I've just mentioned, as far as that goes. Like, but he taught me how to fight and be a warrior. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But that day something crystallized, and I it's like I'll be forever in debt to this lesson. Something crystallized, and I realized I'm mortal. He was mortal. There is a date and time for every one of us. We are all gonna die. He was only 37 years old. And I've been living in fear and struggling, and I made some horrific mistakes, sins in the last 5 years of my life. And I've been trapped in a prison of fear and shame and guilt because I have failed greatly in my life. But his passing away solidified something in me of like, there is no prison of fear that needs to keep you. If you want to upload videos to the internet with commentary on video games, then do that. I've been wanting to do that for the last like 3 or 4 years. But because of fear, what do people think? And oh, it's not going to lead to anything great. And just, dude, we all know it. The narrative, the tape in our head, the thing that plays that tells us you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not, it's no point. Why would you do it? Why do you want to go for your dreams, dude? It is all a lie. And it's a lie from the devil. And anyone out there listening to this little video or watching, I want to tell you, dude, go grab it. Go get it. Go forward in life. Get courage. Be brave. Fight. Whatever you have to do, man. Get sober. Go to therapy. Apply to the job you want. Upload your videos to YouTube. Whatever it is, our lives are short. Even if you live to be 100 years old, your life is still short in the grand scheme of life. I'll talk about more things through these little fireside chats. But I wanted to get that off my chest. I loved you very much, buddy. And this is going to sound twisted, especially to people who don't have faith in Jesus and God and the Bible, but he truly is in a better place. He's at home. And he never has to struggle through this experience that we call life. And the tears and the heartache and the failures and the mistakes and the sin and the betrayal. He never has to experience that again. So in some ways, I'm happy for him. I'm sorrowful for me, of course, because I'm a selfish guy. But I'm sorrowful for his family and the people in his life that loved him. And I want you guys to know, if any of you see or hear this video, I love you. Mitch loved you. And if there's anything I could do, please let me know, because I would do it. It's the least I could do for a friend that I loved so much. Thank you.